Ryan, this is your first time here in quite a while. You raced here in sports cars in 2007. What's it like being back here at Houston and on this configuration in an IndyCar?
Still bumpy. But I tell you, it feels way better than last year looked. So thankful for that. Thankful for all the changes and upgrades to the track. I think it's going to be, a tough weekend for sure. But it's an exciting track. It's really demanding. It's not that hot outside, but it feels hot. It's just the humidity takes it out of you. So it's going to be a grueling weekend, but really pleased with the way we've opened up today with the car. The first session was really about me getting back into the groove of getting around this track and sort of relearning it after 7 years since I was here in the sports car. And this afternoon felt really good. So we've had a pretty busy schedule since the last race in Texas. We went to Iowa, Milwaukee, and then a couple of days in Sebring, and I feel like that's really helped us as a team, and especially on the 8 car, we've just been able to really keep building on what we've been learning all year long, and hopefully we keep going strong tomorrow.
The series is opening up a very long string of back-to-back races. How important is it to get a strong result here and kind of kick off that long stretch in a good way?
Yeah, I mean, in the next 4 weeks we got 6 races, including a double points race in Pagenaud. So it's going to have a huge impact on championship points. And for sure, I think getting that kicked off with a strong result here in both races is important. We've seen in the past what can happen over a double-header weekend, and you always hope to be on the positive side of that.
Perfect. And before we open up for questions, we'll go ahead and introduce Simon Pagenaud, who was fastest overall today in Verizon IndyCar Series practice. Simon finished 4th and 5th at the doubleheader weekend here last year in 2013. Simon, this is a really strong track for you. How do you feel heading into qualifying in race 1 tomorrow?
I feel really good. The guys, the Oculus car is really orange and really fast as well. So I feel very confident. We've only done a few changes. We unloaded really fast, and it's a pleasure to drive. It's track has been improved quite a bit in turn 1, which is quite pleasant. And yeah, I mean, it looks pretty strong right now. So we just need to keep up with the track because the car was pretty much perfect today. And if we're good tomorrow on the red Firestone tires, we should be in good shape.
We'll open up for questions for Simon and Ryan. Yes, Patrick.
Simon, you kind of talked about your car being perfect, but I was watching you on the screen. You're really throwing it around a lot. It doesn't seem like it's perfect as in precise. What's the setup goal here then?
Well, I like to have a obviously on TV it doesn't look that way, but I like to have a stable rear and good traction. And that's what the car is providing me, even though I'm sliding it around a little bit. It's a bumpy track and tight track as well, and sometimes it's necessary to just pitch the car into the corner to make it turn the way you want. So far, it's perfect because it suits my driving style really well, and that's why I feel comfortable in it.
Bruce.
Simon, through 8 races, you've got 6 finishes in the top 6, 5 top 5s in victory. Does it baffle you that you're not leading the standings with those type of results?
Indy hurt us for sure. Indy was a 12th position. We didn't have a really good car there. Unfortunately, we didn't prepare well enough during the practices. I should say this is probably my fault actually, but whatever. It wasn't a great result because it's double points that cost us massively. But it is what it is. Yeah, this weekend is super important. Obviously, it's 2 races and 100 points is just like Indy. So if we can score 2 podiums, that would be fantastic. Obviously, win is big in IndyCar because of the point system. Then Pagenaud is going to be huge as well. So it's so far so good. I think consistency has been there. We've been consistently up front, even at Texas. So far so good. It's just didn't pay off at Indy.
Rod.
Yeah, this could be for
whoever wants to take it. It looks like that curb-in chicane there in turn 2 is quite pronounced. It seemed to cause some problems for a couple of guys today. Your feelings on that? Is it kind of a difficult area of the track?
I think it's all right. It's very usable. You just can't hit it with the center of your toe. But I think it's really nice that IndyCar's been going towards standard curbing around the whole track, and at least that way we sort of know what to expect in each corner. That's been a huge improvement since last year and the year before.
And how about in turn 10? It seems like coming right out where pit end is, there's like a dip and kind of a rise through there. It seems kind of bumpy just looking at it, but is that any kind of a trouble spot at all?
Well, it's the fastest corner on the track. It's quite challenging. I personally like it a lot. You have to be super precise with the inside wall and where you're going to land. So it's a fun corner, pretty fast. So it should create good passing, I think, because you could easily make a mistake.
Any final questions for Simon or Ryan? Great. Before we continue with questions, we'll go ahead and introduce Luca Filippi here. Entering back into the Verizon IndyCar Series with Ray Hall Letterman landing him this year after competing in 4 races for Brian Hurd at Autosport last year. Luca finished 10th last year in race 1 here at the Shell and Pennzoil Grand Prix of Houston. Luca, how happy are you to be back here in the Verizon IndyCar Series?
Yeah, I'm very happy because for me it looks like the winter is just finished. It was a very long winter for me, and so I'm here and I don't have many chances, so for sure I'm fired up and I can't wait to race again, and I like the circuit, and for sure I love the series, so I worked hard to be back.
Okay. We had a question here from Matt.
For Ryan, it's no secret that you guys over at Ganassi have really struggled this year, all 4 cars. So how important has this break been for you guys to kind of just take a breather and figure out where you are and where y'all need to move forward?
Yeah, it's been crucial. We were sort of really looking forward to having those tests come around. It's been a battle, and I think we've been learning a lot, making improvements as the seasons move forward. But it's so hard when you come to these races and you have such short practice sessions. You can't really. It's hard to go too far out of the box and be too go too far out there on trying things. And the testing we had in the last couple of weeks gave us that opportunity. We definitely learned some things, and this is a unique track for sure. It's difficult even at Sebring to really simulate what you're going to get here in Houston. But I do believe we found some really good items that we've carried over, and that we have reconfirmed here as being positive, and we just need to keep working hard, keep building. I know the team's always been renowned for getting stronger and stronger as the season's gone forward, and they've just got a great team of guys and engineers all working hard, and we're looking forward to winning some races hopefully.
Is there a certain aspect of the team that you guys have really focused on, whether it be horsepower, engineering, or ovals or road streets?
I mean, it's a bit of everything, but for sure, depending on where we go, you work for that track, but we don't sort of give up anywhere, and you can't look past the super speedways where the 3 of them, Indy being Indy, but the other 2 are double points and mean so much. So we're definitely working to build off what we did in Indy to be strong in Pocono and Fontana, but so much of what we do is street course racing, and that's probably been where most time's been spent.
And one question for Luca. Have you had a chance, even though it's been a real short amount of time with Team Ray Hall, to kind of analyze where they are as a team moving forward?
For me, it's very hard to judge. I feel good at the moment, and I think they've shown they were fast in Detroit, with Graham finishing on podium, and we more or less started from there. And at the moment, I'm happy with the car. We have areas where to improve, but the first actually thing that can go well is myself, that I still have to get used to the car again and take some rust away.
Yes.
Hi, Chris Smith. Luca, you did well here in the race one last year, and despite the time away, have done well again today. What do you think it is about this circuit or your driving style or two combined that suits you so?
Yeah, I liked it from the very beginning, and for sure it's a little unconventional because you don't have so many changes of direction, just two, and in that case it makes like the balance very important because actually it's a street course, but you have corners like 90 degrees where you really have to set the car, brake, turn, and go on power, which is a pure standard corner, basically. And for some reason I liked it, and I found a way to use the curb and drive around here. So also it was actually the best place for me to come back in the series.
Chris?
Luca, how much has changed this year compared to last year with your situation? Where last year you were with, I believe, Brian Herta, now this year being with Ray Hall Letterman. How much has changed for you just either A, getting to the track, and B, with a different team, different organization, different setup and all that? And how is overall driving the circuit different this year compared to last year for you?
I think it's hard to judge from the feeling of the car because we have now a slightly different engine, and so many things are changed, and now it's like 10 months that I don't drive an IndyCar, so it would be tough to judge. But for sure we made a good preparation to the race, so I felt great with the Rahal team, and we went through all the details to prepare as best as we could the weekend, and so far I'm very happy, and we had several options to test, so we were focusing on making and finding the best setup, and also we found some performance, so it's looking good at the moment.
Any final questions for these three drivers? Gentlemen, good luck in qualifying at the race tomorrow.
Thanks. Thank you.
We are also joined by Verizon IndyCar Series points leader Will Power. Will is the winner of Race 2 in the 2013 Shell and Pennzoil Grand Prix of Houston, presented by the Greater Houston Honda dealers. Will, it seems like you've picked up where you left off last year, finishing second fastest overall in today's combined practice. How is Team Penske helping you prepare for the race tomorrow afternoon and qualifying tomorrow morning?
It's hard to tell. Actually, we did have a good session. The last one was really difficult to get a lap, but it's normal IndyCar. It's really difficult to, obviously be in that front bunch. It's very competitive, but I think we've got a good chance tomorrow. We've got about 10 other guys, so we're doing everything we can tonight to really work out the setup.
A few of the drivers have been noting a few small differences in the track from last year over this year, a few things smoothed out. In your words, how would you describe it?
Yeah, it's a little bit different. It's very similar, honestly. It's just not a big deal. It's basically the same track to me. It's just getting your car to ride the bumps well. I think is the key.
Questions for Will? Yes.
Joey Barnes, Tribute Racing. Will, the weather this week has been kind of crazy here in Texas, a lot of rain and whatnot. How do you feel if this race goes, if either of these two races goes to a wet race?
Yeah, well, that always makes things really interesting. I mean, it just depends how much it rains and how it dries up, and when you go to slicks and when you come off wets and so on. I mean, that's all the stuff you just got to do on the fly. It's nothing you just can't predict it. How it's going to be, but it'll definitely make it exciting for fans.
Matt.
Will, standing start practice on the front stretch for the first time this weekend, how do you think that went off, and is that something that was needed for you guys?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. No one stalled, so hopefully that's the case in the race. The reason we're doing it is because of what happened in the Indianapolis road course. Obviously a pretty big crash there, so trying to prevent that. Obviously things are a little different when there's a bit of pressure on. Everyone's packed up there on the grid. hopefully everyone gets away.
Other questions for Will? Jenna?
Okay, well, I know you hear a lot that fans think IndyCar race control favors you or doesn't make calls against you. And
I thought that was the other way around.
yeah,
right?
so I wanted to ask you, do you think that it's actually the other way around?
Yeah, I mean, I've probably got the most penalties of anyone this year, and 4 of them have come in the last 5 races. So anyone who thinks that I'd be surprised if anyone's had even 2 driving penalties, let alone 4. So I've been penalised enough, and yeah, everyone has that. I mean, you know, it's when people stop talking about you, that's when you got a problem.
Any last questions for Will? Mary?
Well, this morning, I think it was coming out of turn 2, you went over a curb, and it was quite exciting because the front end went up in the air. I don't know what it was like in the cockpit, but it doesn't seem like the car had any damage. He managed to save it, and yet this afternoon session, I think it was Hawksworth that did very much the same thing and hit the outside wall left. So, how was your car? Was it okay?
It was fine, yeah. I just kept going. Lucky it was early in the session, we were going very slow, and you know, I didn't even make the wall, but that hurts. You don't want to do that. You know, it jolts your neck. But yeah, I'm sure it hurt more for Hawksworth if he did the same but got to the wall.
Any other questions? Will, good luck in qualifying in the race tomorrow.
Cheers, thank you.